What's up guys, it's a new week. So today I'm gonna try and finish up my 240. If you didn't see the last video, we got the coilovers in and the car is officially on the ground now. It's still a mess in here, so we need to clean up a little bit, but I got the cheapest top I could find on eBay. I bought all the stuff I need to install it. I have to dig my compressor out from the corner and we can get to work on throwing this top in. I have the old top off. I didn't record any of that. I still have the window in. So basically what happened is, since it's so cold in here, when I went to remove this old top, I ended up destroying the rear window. It wasn't in the best shape anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So bought a cheap top and we're gonna try and put it in. I've never done this before and I'm really dreading throwing the top in. It's a long process from what I've seen, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I think we'll be all right. I think we got this. All right, so I got the old window out. As you can see, this thing is destroyed, but I'm leaving it here so I can kind of use it as a template. That way I know where everything lines up, because some of my bow straps actually ripped when I was pulling the top off a little while ago. So what I have here is the new top. I'm gonna hit it with a heat gun. That way the window is a little bit softer and we're not gonna end up like this window that's totally destroyed just because of the cold. All right, so something I'm doing that's really helping, I'm trying to slide the top in. There's like this little groove here that you need to slide the top through. Is I took a shop rag and I'm coating this piece of metal rod that's like wrapped in the top. It's to kind of lock it in there. I coated it with a little bit of motor oil. It's making it a lot easier to slide in. It's still not easy, but it's definitely a lot easier than it was. Got the window slid in. Like I said, it's really cold in here, so this isn't it's not folding out that easily. I have to keep hitting it with a heat gun to make it a little more malleable. So what I did was I took the old top, I threw it on the hood over there, and I marked where the bolt holes were, just with a China marker, just so I could see roughly where everything's gonna be, so I can cut those out. So I took all the staples out of the bow. So now I have my compressor tucked back in there. So what I need to do now is I need to let that fill up. I have a pneumatic staple gun with some T50 staples. I'm doing it a little bit differently than I've read how to do it online, just because I don't have a lot of savable parts, because my top was kind of a piece of shit. I'm gonna fit the bow in, and then I'm gonna see roughly where this needs to, where all the holes need to be, or the top needs to be trimmed for the bolt holes. And then I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut it, fit it onto the bow, staple it in, and I should be good to go, and that's the window. And then we can move on to the hard part, which is to actually get the top in, which I'm not that excited for, to be completely honest. I've been really trying to push this off, and I bought the car in the summer, it got too cold, and I didn't want to fit the top in like 10-degree weather, and it's 30 degrees, which isn't much better, but you know, we'll see. Hopefully it goes well. All right, so I got the window stapled in. It looks pretty good. It lines up like almost perfectly. I still have to trim some of the holes, but I test fitted it, everything works fine. So I'm going to try and make myself some bow straps out of the old top, because I couldn't find anywhere that was actually selling them. So now that that's in, I'm going to start cutting long strips of that top there that will kind of go all the way down as I need it to, and then we'll be good on that front, and we can take the rest of the top out of the box and start throwing that in. So I'm really happy with how the window came out. It's a little off, but it's not terrible. It's not enough that you'd really notice, and it will probably even out once some heat hits it. We have my DIY straps done on both sides. They're both stapled in. We got the rivets up front on all of them. You can see under here. This one, I couldn't actually get the width I needed, but it was fine. So I still need to add straps from here to here, but I need to get this window figured out and see exactly what height it needs to come to first. So I'm gonna move on to trying to get the actual top fitted, and then I'm gonna worry about doing this top part here. That way I know everything fits correctly, because that still needs to be stapled into the bow that goes around the back edge. And So I'm gonna get going on that. Okay, so I'm starting to get the top in. So I'm starting to get the top in. I started installing, you can't really see it here, but there's a piece of fabric, like a loop that runs across, and I was installing it wrong. So I am trying to find the missing pieces that I need so I can put that in correctly. Shrimp. That way everything's down nice and tight. We don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna find that and get and get back to putting the top in. All right, so we got the two bows that go across here. I got these screwed in, so they're fine. So I'm gonna start working on probably the front. I kind of want to do the back last because I think it's gonna be the hardest part. It's the one that needs to line up, and I need to get all the pieces to kind of work together, including getting this. Oh, you can't even see that. Including getting this onto the bow for the window and making sure that all that lines up correctly, and then making sure that the top fits correctly. So work on getting these windows in and everything like that. Yeah, cool. What's up, guys? We're back at the garage today. I'm gonna finish up putting in the convertible top. So last time I was here, I was having some issues with trying to get the whole thing in the front here to sit down. So what I ended up doing, in case anyone ever ends up doing this, is I bought a bunch of clamps, and there's this metal bracket that runs along the bottom of the front section of the top. So I used that to clamp against, and it actually held the whole front of the top down. So that, and it's been sitting like this for a week. So now the contact cement should be dry, and I should be able to actually pop these off with no issues whatsoever. And as you can see, the bracket comes off, or it starts to come off, and the top should hopefully, I may have got some contact cement on this also, but it looks like the whole top is actually getting held down now, so that's awesome. And and I'm not sure if I said this already, but I messed up. I was rushing, I was trying to rush because we were here for a very short amount of time last time when I started actually putting the top in, and I was rushing and I put the bow on upside down in the back. So it bolts in mostly, but once it gets down to like the lower sections, like right here, it doesn't fit correctly. So I already have all the cutouts, so I'm gonna pop off the back of the top, and I'm gonna start working on flipping that back. I don't think that should take me too long. I think it should only be a matter of popping those out, flipping it, lining it up with the holes I already had. I might mark them just to be safe. I think that should be it. The holes for the sides are pretty much cut. The whole back section of the top is basically like stapled in. It's like temporarily stapled so that I can take it in and out. And that should be it. The window lines up pretty nicely. It's not amazing, but I'm happy with it. So it's my first time ever doing a top, and I have to say it's not hard in any way, but it takes a long time to do. I thought it would be a lot faster because I already had the top off, but yeah, it's not that bad. I definitely think it's worth giving it a shot. So I'm gonna get to pulling the back section of this top off now and get to hopefully fixing the bow. Okay, so I got the bow back in the convertible top. It's flipped the right way this time, and it's pretty much mounted in place. It's kind of hard to see in there, but you can see the little piece of aluminum. So now that I have that done, I started already cutting out the holes for the actual top part of the top. now that I got the bow back in, I need to put the actual top part on the car. So this still is gonna get stapled to the bow. It needs to be contact cemented here also, but I'm gonna wait till after I get the bow all stapled in because the top or front section is already done. I just need to get this done and then screw in the brackets that hold like this part of the top in. So as you can see over there, it's a little bit loose. So I'm gonna pull that tighter and then pull this side tight. The window is, it's even when the top's not on. Let me see if we can get it to focus. But it's not perfect right now. Like it's not perfect with the, even relative to the car, but it's not even relative to the top. So I'm not sure what I messed up there. And I'm hoping that once the weather gets a little bit warmer and the car's outside, and the top starts to shrink and form a little bit better, that the window will even out at least a little bit. Like I'm not picky where it needs to be perfect on each side, but it is perfect like where it is. You can see it's sunken a little bit in the middle, but again, once it heats up and everything, the top starts to shrink, that will all take care of itself. So I'm happy with it right now. I'm gonna get to putting the actual top on and we'll go from there. Got it all. It's not bolted down yet, but the bow is fitted. I still need a contact cement right here, but bow is fitted. It looks pretty good. It's a little loose right here. Again, it will shrink. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that in one video, so I'm going to get to doing this side over here. It's the same process. I'm going to push the bow down. I'm going to cut the holes roughly where it needs to be, push the bow down, mark the studs, and then go from there. And I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter because as you can see, it looks like right there it's a little bit loose. So if I pull it tighter, it will even out everything. And yeah. Okay, so I don't know how the fuck I managed this one, but I just spilled my contact cement all in my passenger compartment. So that's sick. So I'm gonna clean that up, and the top is basically done. I just kicked it over while I was finishing up. So I'm gonna clean that up and then hopefully get the contact cement actually on the car instead of in the car. All right, got the contact cement cleaned up in there. It looks like it's actually melting the undercoating, or not the undercoating, the sound deadening. So it's kind of dissolving it, and I used like a whole roll of shop tiles and a random towel that I had laying around. So I'm gonna get to actually using the contact cement on something that it should be used on, not my floor pans. Okay, so we got the convertible top like officially finished for the most part. The contact cement is being held down by the clamps. Other side's done as well. This is all good up top. I got a little bit that looked like it leaked through here. I don't actually know why because I didn't put any contact cement there, so there might have been some on the clamp. So this is all done. It'll close. I'm gonna leave it a little bit loose for now while this stuff dries. I'm gonna actually tighten this a little bit down, but whatever. Not that worried about it. So it's all done. Convertible top is on the car. The convertible top is officially done. I'm so excited. This is something I've been putting off for a really long time because it's just not a fun thing to do. It takes a really long time. So finally, I did it. It's done. Overall, this whole top has cost me about $250 to $300, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. So if it has any issues like with the ceiling or something like that, I'm not going to be that upset because I didn't put 1,000 or so like some people do, like if you have a shop do it. So it's my first time doing it. Pretty happy. The top was about $170, and all the miscellaneous things I needed, like the staple gun, I already had a compressor, the contact cement, stuff like that. It was roughly between 50 to like $100-ish, but I'm really happy how this came out. So like the video if you want to keep track of any of the builds, my S13, Evans MR2, my Datsun back there, then subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the videos, and bye.